It's time for yet another launcher with Rockstar Games entering the fray. All this is Steam updates itself. GOG Galaxy 2 sees a massive improvement, plus even more in today's special edition of the Roundup. Hey everyone, and welcome back to a special edition of the Roundup. There's been so much launcher and store related news that we've decided to collate it all here in one place. So yes, there will be a regular Roundup episode tomorrow, so be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. That's the signal that YouTube really does listen to, and it helps us out a lot. Okay, with that said, let's get into the video. Rockstar this week released the Rockstar Games Launcher. According to a blurb on their website, the Rockstar Games Launcher comes with a host of features, including the addition of cloud save functionality to all supported titles, the ability to keep your Rockstar Games PC library updated automatically, which is a normal thing for all stores now, and ways to follow the latest Rockstar Games news from directly inside the launcher. That's what I've always wanted to do. Being real though, none of those are exciting features that are worth a change for users anyway. Now, not all of the Rockstar back catalog will be compatible with the launcher, but big names like GTA 5, LA Noire, and Bully are available at present. Rockstar are also running a limited time promotion where, if you download the Rockstar launcher to your computer, you will receive a free digital copy of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas as a reward for installing. So overall, what's the read in this? Well, according to the internet, it's not really went down that well, and I mean, for myself personally, I also don't think this is a great move from a user perspective. Obviously, from a business perspective, it does make a lot of sense. One Redditor accused Rockstar of having Trojan horsed their new launcher into the Steam version of GTA, which is actually quite a valid point, and the resulting thread of responses, well, showed anything but enthusiasm. The major complaint, though, is that this new launcher, despite the fact that many people feel it was essentially smuggled onto their computers without their consent through their Steam install, is, well, there's a major issue where it seems to be preventing GTA 5 from being played offline in any capacity. As hard as it may be for Rockstar to accept, there are some people who don't care that much about GTA Online and merely want to have fun and enjoy themselves in the huge amount of offline single-player content in that game. So it appears this is now impossible for the many people who have reported everything from communication errors with Steam to new interferences from firewalls when trying to play GTA 5 offline. So really not an ideal situation. So what's the read in this? Well, obviously from a business perspective, there is a lot to get into. Though from a user perspective, well, there is not really a lot of enthusiasm out there, which I think does make a lot of sense. For a lot of people, their user experience is that this was kind of smuggled in to their Steam copy of the game. So yeah, they kind of just use Steam as as a way to like Trojan horse this new launcher in. And I think that really does come off quite bad. It does feel quite scummy to people. Then on top of that, basically you can't play GTA 5 offline now. That's what it seems to be. That's what a lot of people are reporting. Now, that apparently is a bug, but it overall is a very messy situation. Of course, for Rockstar, all the incentives point towards getting people to play that game online, where you can purchase your shark cards and all of that stuff. So yeah, there is a way where it could make sense that they essentially tried to make the game, online only to push GTA Online. Now they have since said that it's a bug, which, does sort of go against that. Now, in fairness to Rockstar, they usually do just stick with their guns whenever they make a decision. So I imagine if they really were doing online only, and that was their intent, they'd just say, sorry, this game was online only through this launcher. We don't care what you think, it's what we're doing. So it's kind of hard to read right now. I imagine, though, that bug will be fixed and that offline play will be restored. Of course, from a user perspective, one big question surrounding the Rockstar launcher is, why? Well, Rockstar have had a presence on Steam as far back as January 2008, and, considering that Steam has all of their older titles, well, most of them like GTA 2 and Manhunt, and there's actually more Rockstar games on Steam than on the actual Rockstar launcher, it might seem a bit strange from a user perspective, so why would they decide to branch out on their own? Well, the answer is pretty darn easy: money and their upcoming PC plans. So the introduction of a dedicated launcher and the suite of features that it has, particularly like the cloud saves and the automatic updates, that does point to something a little bit bigger in Rockstar's future, that they're building out their own in-house capabilities for those things. Rockstar does have a stellar back catalog of games, but they have not brought them all to this new launcher. They're instead clearly focusing on a select few titles, probably newer ones, and they're building a feature set to work with that. The strategy seems to be to draw people in for now with a few big names, while then paving the way for even more bigger names in the future. And of course, we all know what that big name is. It's Red Dead Redemption. It's been long rumored for PC, it's pretty much a given that it will end up in PC, and well, given how GTA 5 was, I mean, it's pretty obvious what will happen with Red Dead Redemption, considering probably the similarities in their rollout, and given how well Rockstar's open worlds do lend themselves to high-end PC hardware, I think people are clamoring for a PC release of that game, and this might be the way that Rockstar will do it. Now, the big why is, of course, money, because being distinct from Steam does, for Rockstar, have the added benefit of 20% extra revenue, because, they'll get 100% of the revenue if it's purchased through their launcher. And now I say 20% instead of 30% because, of course, Steam changes to a 20% revenue split for all revenues past $50 million, and you can be pretty darn sure that Rockstar are operating in the north of $50 million bracket for, any one of their game sales. It'll definitely be curious to see if Rockstar's historic presence does remain on Steam, though, and whether they'll go for Rockstar launcher exclusivity for Red Dead Redemption 2 PC. At any rate, though, we can see the early moves. Rockstar are clearly doing their best to bring customers in now during the early stages of things, and I'm sure the free copies of GTA San Andreas are going to help with that. Of course, the Rockstar launcher is only the most recent entry in the increasingly crowded crop of launchers, and PC gaming is becoming more of a fractured experience these days, leading to many people wanting a one ring to launch them all style arrangement for their launchers. Now, this has the potential to be a horrendously anti-competitive thing if, one just owned everything. That would be very bad for the industry in the long run, but there is a possibility for that to be done well, and that's kind of where the launcher is just a useful bit of software that has a store attached to it, but the store operates in a good manner. And of course, this is where GOG come in, and they've just updated Galaxy 2.0, their revamped launcher, store, and library management tool. In a post published on GOG.com way back in May, their managing director outlined their desire to bring people's games into one place and to deliver a better user experience. Of course, the initial beta launch did a great job as far as our review is concerned, so again, it's really nice to see that another version of it is coming. A development video was posted earlier on this week, and it's giving us a more detailed look at the Atlas update for Galaxy 2. The dev video had a clear community focus, something that's fairly in line with GOG's party line. It's clear enough that they've just chosen community relations to be the core of their business model. Really, they're like diversifier, the thing that makes them stand out in the market. And if you are going to choose one thing to stand out on, I think that's a pretty good one. So the Atlas update contains features such as global search, which will allow you to easily search your entire library and friends list, plus any games from their database, be it for purchase, for just looking at your games, or to link them to other people. Now, additionally, and I think this is the bit that really matters here, the user experience has been considered, with a pop-up search window being hotkeyed to Command or Control F. That's something that's very similar to Spotlight search or using Alfred on a Mac, which is a very good user experience indeed. So it's brilliant to see that in this launcher. Another added thing is click and drag support for customizing categories and prioritizing downloads, which seems quite intuitive. GOG Galaxy 2 will also contain the ability to manually add titles to your library now, which was a feature they really needed, so it's great to see that, and that's alongside custom linked executables, which will allow Galaxy to launch any game on your drive with a single click, as well as give that feature such as playtime tracking in each title in a way that just many other launchers simply don't offer. It's then also added more library customization across the board. So all in all, GOG Galaxy 2 is currently still in beta, but you can still sign up to receive an invite. Of course, Galaxy is not the only universal launcher. Play Night is another one, there are other ones as well, and Steam itself kind of does similar functionality, but with less customization and a worse user experience. Right now, though, I think for the average user, nobody's doing it better than GOG. There are some other options that are maybe a bit better if you're really into things like emulation, but Galaxy really seems to be the overall winner. Now, of course, though, it's not the only library to have update news, with Steam pushing its latest version to public beta. Now, given how large Steam libraries tend to be, any feature set enhancements are very welcome indeed. It's mostly a visual upgrade, giving you a bit more control over what you see, as well as the added developer features that we covered when it was first announced that, again, are very welcome. Visually, it can be a bit closer to the GOG tiles, if you wish. Overall, though, the main focus is on the user experience, a lot of that being on a per-game basis as well, with the game pages being redesigned to be more modern and to show users what Valve's algorithm considers to be the most important based on their habits, be that in-game events, developer posts, updates, or community content. It also seems like they're removing external news articles from the game feed and instead having that be stuff from the developers and from the community, which, if you're a storefront, I think makes decent sense. Of course, competition to Steam's stranglehold on digital distribution was very welcome in the beginning, even if the initial challenge came from the rather chaotic Epic Games Store, and while it's not great how Epic has ended up going, I think competition is healthy and good for consumers wishing to exercise the right to decide where their money goes, and extrapolated across time, it probably will be better. But at this stage, we are rapidly approaching the realms of oversaturation currently being seen in the ongoing streaming wars between Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and really several million others. Of course, unlike the streaming wars, we do have parties such as Steam, GOG, sometimes Ubisoft, many indies who are not relying on exclusives, so that definitely is a good thing. But if Epic's game plan continues to be successful, then maybe that could change, and that probably wouldn't be ideal. Seriously though, it's getting to the stage where I almost just wish that I could just have my games be on my computer, have a folder full of shortcuts, and do it the old-fashioned way. It's getting a little bit frustrating having to keep up with Steam, Epic, GOG Galaxy, itch, EA Origin, Uplay, Battle.net, now Rockstar, and probably a few others as well. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you think about all of this stuff, and I suppose I wonder, I mean, that whole like unified library thing, what really kills that is DRM. If I actually think about, and this is totally just a random ad-lib section, but I think you might find it interesting. Over like on the music front, I use Plex Media Server for a lot of things because I've got some of my own music, TV shows and stuff. I just put them on my Plex server and I just know they're there. It's more, for me, it's more convenient than having to juggle 50 million different streaming services. And I suppose that's the dream the GOG Galaxy is trying to achieve. But the issue they're always going to have is DRM and the way that, like, if you have a Steamworks game that is linked to GOG, well, GOG will still have to open it through Steam. So there are some fundamental issues there. It's just an interesting push and pull. And overall, I think it's just piracy is a user experience problem. I think in the streaming wars, they're really going to see that. And I would caution that in gaming, we may see that come again. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the various stores and stories that we talked about today. And with that, I will see you next time.